Hey there, this is PJ. We're here for the daily lectionary reading. It is Wednesday, June 9th, 2021. We're running a little bit behind, but it's at least the same day, right? 3 readings. Psalm 74 is our psalm reading. Isaiah 26, 16 through 27:1 is our Old Testament reading. And the Gospel of Luke, chapter 11, verses 14 through 28 is our New Testament reading. So here we go. Psalm 74. I really like this psalm at times. You walked off and left us and never looked back. God, how could you do that? We're your very own sheep. How can you stomp off in anger? Refresh your memory of us. You bought us a long time ago. Your most precious tribe. You paid a good price for us. Your very own Mount Zion. You actually lived up there once. Come and visit the site of disaster. See how they've wrecked the sanctuary. While your people were at worship, your enemies barged in, brawling and scrawling graffiti. They set fire to the porch. Axes swinging, they chopped up the woodwork, beat down the doors with sledgehammer, then split them into kindling. They burned your holy place to the ground, violated the place of worship. They said to themselves, we'll wipe them all out and burn down all the places of worship. There's not a sign or a symbol of God in sight, nor anyone to speak in his name. No one who knows what's going on. How long, God, will barbarians blaspheme? Enemies curse and get by with it. Why don't you do something? How long are you going to sit there with your hands folded in your lap? God is my king from the very start. He worked salvation in the womb of the earth. With one blow, you split the sea into two. You made mincemeat of the dragon Tannin. You lopped off the heads of the Leviathan, then shared them in the stew for the animals. With your finger, you opened up the springs and the creeks, and dried up the wild flood waters. You own the day, you own the night. You put the stars and sun in place. You laid out the 4 corners of the earth, shaped the seasons of summer and winter. Mark and remember, God hold the enemy, taunts each idiot desecration. Don't throw your lambs to the wolf after all we've been through. Don't forget us. Remember your promises. The city is in the darkness, and the countryside is violent. Don't leave the victims to rot in the street. Make them a choir that sings your praises. On your feet, God. Stand up for yourself. Do you hear what they're saying about you? All of the vile obscenities? Don't tune out their malicious filth. The brawling incentives that never let up. Our Old Testament reading comes from the book of Isaiah, chapter 26, verses 16, all the way through chapter 27, verse 1. Here's the reading. Oh God, they begged you for help when they were in trouble, when your discipline was so heavy. They could barely whisper a prayer, like a woman having a baby, withering in distress, screaming her pain as the baby is being born. That's how we were because of you, oh God. We were pregnant, full term. We withered in labor, but bore no baby. We gave birth to wind. Nothing came out of our labor. We produced nothing living. We couldn't save the world. But friends, your dead will live. Your corpses will get to their feet. All your dead and buried, wake up, sing! Your dew is morning dew, catching the first rays of sun. The earth bursting with life, giving birth to the dead. Come, my people, go home and shut yourselves in. Go into seclusion for a while until the punishing wrath is past, because God is sure to come from this place to punish the wrong of the people on earth. Earth itself will point out the bloodstains. It will show where the murdered have been hidden away. At that time, God will unsheath his sword, his merciless, massive, mighty sword. He'll punish the serpent Leviathan as it flees. The serpent Leviathan thrashes in flight. He'll kill that old dragon that lives in the sea. Our New Testament reading comes from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 11, verses 14 through 28. And the heading is No Neutral Ground. Jesus delivered a man from a demon that kept him speechless. The demon gone, the man started talking a blue streak, taking the crowd by complete surprise. But some of the crowd were cynical. Black magic, they said. Some devil trick he's pulled from his sleeve. Others were skeptical, waiting around for him to prove himself with a spectacular miracle. Jesus knew what they were thinking and said, any country in civil war for very long is wasted. A constantly squabbling family falls to pieces. If Satan cancels Satan, is there any Satan left? You accuse me of ganging up with the devil, the prince of demons, to cast out the demons. But if you're slinging devil mud at me, calling me a devil who kicks out the devil, doesn't the same mud stick to your own exorcist? But if it's God's finger, I'm pointing that sends the demon on the way, then God's kingdom is here for sure. When a strong man armed to the teeth stands guard in his front yard, his property is safe and sound. But what if a stronger man comes along with superior weapons? Then he's beaten at his own game. The arsenal that gave him such confidence hauled off, and his precious possessions plundered. This is war, and there is no neutral ground. If you're not on my side, you're the enemy. If you're not helping, you're making things worse. When a corrupting spirit is expelled from someone, it drifts along the desert looking for an oasis. Some unexpected soul, it can be the devil. When it doesn't find anyone, it says, I'll go back to my old haunt. On return, it finds the person swept and dusted but vacant. It then runs out and rounds up 7 other spirits, dirtier than itself, and they all move in, whooping it up. The person ends up worse than it ever gotten in the first place. While he was saying these things, some women lifted their voice out of the murmur of the crowd. Blessed the womb that carried you, and the breast at which you were nursed. And Jesus commented, even more blessed are those who hear God's word and guard it with their lives. And here ends our reading for today.